All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Proverbs, the 9th chapter, and this is the 13th verse. And you read the subtitle of this part of the scriptures. It says the way of folly. And in this, in this little section right here, folly is personalized or represented as a woman, as a foolish woman. Because if you go into the NLT, it says the way of folly, Proverbs 9:13 says the woman named Folly is brash, she is ignorant and doesn't know it. So it's folly being personified as a woman, man. So let's go back to King James Version. It says a foolish woman is clamorous. Let's get that word clamorous. It says murmur, growl, warn, rage, tumult, be quieted, remove, trouble, be in uproar. So talking a lot of shit, not knowing how to shut the fuck up. That's a ignorant woman right there, man. And folly is very outspoken. Folly, it gets a lot of attention. You go on TikTok, you see all these so-called pranksters or these dudes or these individuals making these prank videos, where they're just talking all kinds of shit and they're just doing all kinds of things to upset people, and they call it a prank, man. And then when someone want to beat their ass, then they say, oh, it's a prank, it's a prank, it's a prank. So all those things have consequence, man. Hey, sooner or later, them individuals are going to get caught up in their bullshit. But continuing on the lesson, it says a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knows nothing. So folly leads to nothing, man. And it says, verse 14, for she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city. And that's basically folly in America. It's put up in a high position, man. It's brought to the forefront of all things. It's part of the bread and circumstance that keeps you in darkness, that keeps you in a state of ignorance. Not I'm talking about 2/3 of our people or Israel in general. Now the elect and the 1/3, they're going to be enlightened to see through the matrix, so to speak, and not be dismayed or swayed by these things. It says, for she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high place of the city. So like we said, you countless videos on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and whatever social media outlets there is that push this spirit of fucking just bullshit, man. Of taking everything to light, of just being about nothing really. Talking loud and saying nothing, a whole lot of time and effort invested into nothing. That's basically what folly is. Folly is a spirit of just doing shit, just doing bullshit for bullshit's sake. It says so folly is set in a high place, man. That brings to mind Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter. Let's go ahead and get that. This is Salak. Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, the 9th verse says, is that it? No. Maybe it's Ecclesiasticus. Salak. It was the 6th verse. Salak. Ecclesiastes 10:6 says, folly is set in great dignity, the rich sit in a low place. So folly is set in great dignity. It's set in the high places that we read about in Proverbs 9:14. Let's go ahead and get that in the NLT. And it says, when they give great authority to foolish people, and that's what you see. You see great authority or influence given to the foolish of the world. And those are the blind leaders of the blind. And low positions to people of proven worth. Because the prophets of the Lord, we are seen as men of low estate, man. And those that your celebrities, your Kanye's, and all these other people that push this spirit of folly upon the earth, they're given great authority or influence over the masses. So when they give great authority to foolish people, low positions of people of proven worth. So go back to the King James Version. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. So folly is set in the high places, man. Going back to Proverbs 9 and 14. It says, for she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high place of the city, to call passengers to go right on their way. Because they want you to engage in all that nonsense, all that mindlessness. They want your children to engage in that. Most likely your family members are engaged in what they call addicted to the internet, addicted to their phones, man. Being in that spirit of folly. It says, whoso is simple, let him turn in and hither. Because if you have a discerning mind, you're not going to be swayed by those things. As for him that wants his understanding, she says to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Now that's basically tempting you, like Eve was tempted in the garden. Going back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. Let's go ahead and get that, because this is what they promise you. Genesis 3 and this is what folly tries to sell you. What I'm trying to say. It says that when the woman, who's a woman being Eve, but you can say that that's symbolic of Israel in general. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes. That tree is what the philosophies of folly, the philosophy of the nations, which is folly, and a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof, did eat, and gave it also to her husband with her, and he did eat. That's in there. You stay on the internet long enough, you're gonna go down what they call the rabbit hole, man, which is basically a never-ending pile of misinformation and conspiracy theories that don't make no sense, that are made up. And there is such a thing as conspiracy theories, but you'll start learning about flat Earth and aliens in Antarctica and all this other bullshit, man. If you go down that rabbit hole far enough, man, it'll never end. And ultimately, it can lead to certain spirits jumping upon you and influencing you. That's why you got to be, like the other Gabar made in a video a long time ago, you got to be careful not to be an individual engaged in too much folly. Now, there is a time for balance and easing of your mind. Brothers that have hobbies and like to play games or sports, things like that. There is a place for that, but that place should be very small and minuscule. In comparison to your time and your attention to the truth, and that's where self-examination comes in as well. But you got to be careful of these things, man. We got to deal. These things need to be pointed out so that you can be aware that folly itself, just doing all that bullshit itself, is set up for your downfall. As we're going to continue to read in Proverbs the 9th chapter. It says, but he knows, verse 18 of 17, stolen waters are pleasant, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eat in secret is pleasant. It's a temptation. Let's get James the 1st chapter. This is James 1, and we'll go up. I think it's 12. Let's see here. And in order to combat folly, you gotta develop a spirit of discipline, man. A spirit of tolerance, a high spiritual resistance to the flesh. And that's not always easy thing to do. But, that's something that you gotta exercise in your daily life. It says James 1 and 12 says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, see, you gotta look at things as a trial, a test. He shall receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh, for Yahweh cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Basically, that's you. That's on you, man. You know, the Lord already gave us the know-how and the knowledge and the code of conduct to follow to keep ourselves out of harm's way, so to speak. It said, but every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. See that? Do not err, my beloved brethren. So there's a constant warning in the scriptures to keep yourself in a defensive posture, a spiritually defensive posture against the things of the world. You know, you gotta be at the ready, so to speak. Be sober, be vigilant, like the scripture says, man. You know, these are things that you gotta exercise within yourself in order to maintain your spirit within this truth, man. You know, that's why this lesson is being brought out. But let's go back to Proverbs, and we'll close it out on that because the point has already been made. It says, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. So those temptations, they seem enticing. That folly seems enticing, but at the end, it's just a big waste of time. You gotta upgrade yourself, man. You gotta upgrade yourself in the spirit. You gotta upgrade yourself in everything. You know, the elder El Shawamba made a video camp that I watched recently. He's speaking of that. He's speaking how we're coming to the Hebrew Israelite New Year. You know, and it's time to upgrade ourselves, man, in every way possible. You know, that's the mind state we should have now. You know, coming into this Passover, you know, we should renew ourselves. You know, that Psalms 51, renew a right spirit within me. You know, and this is our New Year's resolution on the right hand side. I'm gonna finish this right here. We'll close it out. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that are guests are depths of hell. So all those just lead to death ultimately. You know, we've seen instances of certain individuals getting caught up in their folly, man. And the scripture is proven true. And that's just a stern warning to all of Israel, man. Well, with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most High will and hope is edifying. Then we give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Kahalat Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.